Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slaying Hope, and I got another video for y'all. This video is about how to spot an abuser. Right? I'm gonna give y'all some tips, and I'm gonna have a conversation with y'all. This is very important, especially for our sisters, because a lot of times our sisters are getting caught up in situations. Not saying that men don't get abused, because some of these women will use these tactics too. But oftentimes I see it happening to our sisters because they are very vulnerable. They are very easy to deceive, right? So I'm gonna give y'all some tips and some signs, right? And these signs doesn't mean that every time you see them, that's what's going on. But a lot of times this is what's going on. So before I even get into the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you like my content. And let's just rock out and vibe together and help me get the content out there for people that it might benefit. Now, the way that abusers usually strike is through love bombing. That's like the first stage of the interaction with the victim or the person that, you know, they're trying to kind of like get them in a certain trance, right? They do it through love bombing. And love bombing is something that cults usually use. Like if you read about like any cults, like, you know, with Jim Jones, and I think that was in Guyana, or any other groups or cults, like I think Malachi York, you know, if you read about a lot of movements and cult groups, a lot of times how they get their followers is through love bombing, right? And I'm gonna read to y'all a little excerpt, right? Now it says, as soon as any interest is shown by the recruits, they may be love bombed by the recruiter or other cult members. This process is feigning friendship and interest in the recruit was originally associated with one of the early youth cults, but soon it was taken up by a number of groups as part of their program for luring people in. Love bombing is a coordinated effort, usually under the direction of leadership, that involves long-term members flooding recruits and new members with flattery, verbal seduction, affectionate but usually non-sexual touching, and lots of attention to their every remark. Love bombing, or the offer of instant companionship, is a deceptive ploy accounting for many successful recruitment drives. Now, that's just an excerpt of how love bombing really became a thing to kind of like get people to join, whether it's religious movements or other cults, right? And that's usually very effective, as you can see. But today, some people use it for individual agendas, especially in relationships. Now, I'm gonna give you some examples of love bombing, right? Excessive compliments. Now, you might get into a relationship or a situation, and this dude is just like giving you excessive compliments, right? And you know, it's flattery, like the other passage that I read says. And a lot of women fall for this because men know that women love the compliments. They love the sweet nothings. So men, they overly compliment, they overly flatter like these women. You know, oftentimes a woman, you don't really, I'm not saying that women don't give compliments to men, but more often than not is the men giving excessive compliments to women, right? Because we know that women like that. Another thing that they do, spending too much time together too soon, right? It's almost like, you know, you first meet this person, they're flattering you with excessive compliments. You know, you're getting your head big, you're getting gassed. Next thing you know, you're spending a lot of time with this person. Like, you always want to be around them. Every second of your time, every moment of your free time, you're dying to be around this person, right? Another thing that happens that is connected to spending too much time together too soon, asking you to spend time with them rather than friends. Because this is what happens when you start to give this person a lot of your time. Sometimes they don't even want you to hang out with friends, right? They'll be like, oh, why you going to hang out with them? You know, those are your friends. They're always going to be there, blah, 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 XYZ. Also, notice how 9 times out of 10, women get into a relationship and they discard their friends. Like, you don't oftentimes see men do that a lot. men still keep their friends. They still be kind of cool. But a lot of times you see women do this constantly. They get in a relationship. They forget about all their friends. They stop talking to them. They stop fraternizing with them. Again, this is part of like the love bombing process. Now, I'm not saying it's always an abuser, but this happens very often, right? Next thing, constant gifts, right? This person might give you constant gifts. Again, we know that women like gifts. They like small acts of kindness. Another thing people use is they use the love languages. If a person know your love language is acts of kindness, or if they know your love language is whatever it is, words of affirmation, they might use this against you. You got to be aware. You got to be wary of these people out here who are looking to abuse people, right? So another thing that they do, right? Constant gifts. Texting, emailing, calling many times a day, right? This is part of like this whole just love bombing. It's like kind of like a overcompensation of attention, of affection, of compliments. Another thing is mirroring all your interests. This is why I always tell people, when people ask me what am I looking for in a woman, a lot of times I won't even tell them, because what people start to do is they start to mirror who you are looking for when they ask you this question. And here it says mirroring all of your interests. So for example, you got people who will do that. If I realize you like poetry, I might be like, yeah, I'm into poetry too. They try to get close to you as close as they can, right? Because this is part of the thing. The moment I am as closest to you and you feel like everything is so perfect, this is like just the perfect person. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You feel like, yo, like, and this is why sometimes you discard your friends and family members and everybody, because it's like you find every single thing, or at least you think, in that one person. They compensate, right? They overly compensate. So you start to feel like, damn, like I got everything in this one person, right? So they start mirroring all your interests, acting like they're really interested in the things that you're into. This makes people closer, right? When people share interests, when people have things in common, which is why I stopped telling people what am I looking for, because I don't want nobody to be acting like the person that I'm looking for and they really not. And people do this all the time. Excessive interest in your background, life, and interest. Again, it says interest, right? Now, some people have excessive interest in your life, right? Because if I got a lot of information about your life, then this person knows how to attack you. They know your likes. They know your dislikes. They know your wants. They know your desires. Most trauma that people have comes from their childhood. So if I recognize that you were lacking something in your childhood, 9 times out of 10, you still want that. 9 times out of 10, you still desire to fulfill that need that you had as a child. For example, if you have abandonment issues because of your relationship with your parents, when this abuser recognizes that, they're going to realize that you have abandonment issues, right? And they can attack you in certain ways. Again, excessive interest in your background, life, and other interests. And the last thing on the list, it says wanting to take things to the next level quickly. Some people, they do all of this, excessive compliments, spending too much time together, constant gifts, trying to buy you, right? Texting, emailing, calling many times a day, asking you to spend time with them rather than friends. They tell you to ditch your friends. Don't go out this weekend. Don't go out to dinner with them. Don't do X, Y, Z. Be with me. Be with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Then they start mirroring all your interests. They want to show you like, yo, we got the same things in common. Oh, you like sports? I like sports too. You like poetry? I like poetry too. Oh, you like politics? I like politics too. They play the role once they get to know you. They play the role very well. Excessive interest in your background, life, and interests, and they want to take things to the next level quickly. And all of these things that they do all of these things in the name of isolating you from the people who love you and care for you. Because before they start, and they do this before they start putting their hands on you. This is usually what happens, right? This is the process before they start putting their hands on you. Putting their hands on you is like the last resort of these people. After they already got you wrapped up around their finger, after they got you feeling like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? after they got you in their spider web and you feel like you don't need your friends, you don't need your family, you start shit. Sometimes people even move out and start living with this person. Mad quick, fast, right? They move so quickly. Then the beating comes. That's usually how it happens. They love bomb you. They give you, I just gave you all the walkthrough steps, and there's other steps to love bombing. But this is usually what happens. They get you wrapped around their finger, and then before you know it, they smack the shit out you one time, right? Or maybe they just choke you up, or they just grab your hands, or maybe they just do certain things. It starts gradually, right? Next thing you know, they're just outwardly beating on you. And what happens is you tend to make excuses for them. You tend to make excuses for them because you remember the love bombing in the beginning. You start telling yourself, but he is a nice man. But this is a nice woman. Because by then, by the time they start beating on you, you already are entangled in their web. You already had developed feelings. You already had developed emotions. They already made you feel like this euphoric feeling, this ecstasy. You know what I'm saying? They already, and sometimes sex is even included, right? So they get you in this web. Now, by the time they're abusing you, you're trying to make excuses for them. You're like, well, you know, he is a nice person. You start remembering all the good things they did. You start remembering things in the beginning. You start remembering the good parts of the relationship. You just start not really looking at it for what it really is, because you're so confused. You're so intertwined in the shit that the spell, that it becomes hard. And then it becomes hard to leave. Because you constantly in that, like, well, you know, he is a nice person. You're constantly looking at the good things they've done and not what they're currently doing to you. So, and by this time, you already pushed your family away. You already pushed your friends. And sometimes you start feeling guilty. You as the person start feeling guilty and reaching out to your family and reaching out to your friends because you curved them. You curved them in the first place. You told them, fuck off. You ran off with this man or woman, right? And you pushed everybody away. And now you feel guilty of coming back or even opening your mouth and saying something because, like I said, you know it was kind of wrong, like what you did. And now you're expecting their help. So this is just a glimpse of how to spot an abuser. It's other things, but hopefully this is helpful. I'm just trying to share something with the sisters. And again, it does happen to the brothers. But just be mindful, and y'all probably going to forget anyway. But just be mindful, man, that there's people out there who are conniving, who are deceiving, who are manipulative, and who are going to prey. People are preying on people every day. So let me know what y'all thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and y'all stay blessed. Peace.